The late adopter. Hello everybody, welcome to today's video on Bitcoin, and it is getting interesting a little bit. I think I've been looking at charts. There might be some kind of triangle going on over here. There are some kind of nice support lines. We are still haven't fallen below the very crucial level that we do not want to fall below, so everything still looks kind of okay. So I'm gonna show you something on the weekly time frame that tells me that the only way that we have left, the only thing that we have left is some kind of capitulation phase. And that capitulation phase, well, the question is, will there be a capitulation phase this time or not? So let's talk about that. But first thing first, let's go look at what's we having here down on the short term. This is daily time frame. Of course, you can see here we are going a little bit on the downside, and the thing somebody posted in the comments yesterday said like there is divergence here, and he's completely right. But when I was looking at this, there was no divergence. But in the aftermath, I did check it out again, and there was divergence on the RSI. So the thing here is that the price was going high. We had a higher high. The price was going up, but the RSI down here is going down, and that's divergence. Now divergence is not that bad, it's a small divergence, and technically the way I see it, after these two candles, divergence is already played out by itself. So divergences are only there when you see some kind of divergence already happening. We can assume that it might pull back, but it does not mean some kind of top. Divergences do not mean 100% reversal. It just mean a pullback or something like that. So this was a pullback. Is it done? It can be already done. You can see here we are still above the 10 moving average over here, so we can right now continue going towards the upside or towards the downside. But the thing is, this divergence that he mentioned is finished. So you can see here that we did have a small pullback yesterday and even today, and like we said, this has to happen because this was like almost 5% pump towards the upside. So some kind of small pullback should happen before we continue towards the upside. So we are still looking for continuation of this move towards the upside, and that's gonna come above this blue line up here. That's around something like 44.5 or something like that. But we said around 45,000 we want to get above, because around 45,000, I think on the weekly time frame, that's some important levels there. So you can see here that it's still playing very nicely. We still got this MACD going towards the upside. It's losing a little bit momentum on the downside, but it doesn't have to be that bad. It doesn't. The thing that bothers me with momentum is that it is going down while we are creating higher highs. We are creating higher highs, but the momentum is still going down. We got this divergence, so everything is like so I'm not quite sure. So I'm gonna draw a triangle later here, and I'm gonna show you that there might be probability to fall down, but we're still looking over this level down here at 42,000, 20-50 moving average, to get scared on the downside. So let's see how this looks on the 4-hourly time frame. Let's go to the 4-hourly time frame, and what you're gonna see here on the 4-hourly time frame is that we managed, after having this nice move on the downside, some kind of accumulation phase, we pumped up, and right now I don't like that we fell below the moving averages. Right now, we're getting squeezed down. So I think if we start falling down, I think around previous lows down here, give or take. Let me draw something like this. Something like this up here, this line over here. You can see here it's acting as some kind of resistance up here and some kind of support up here. So this line is pretty legit. That also corresponds nicely right now to with 100 moving average on the 4-hourly. So if it go down, I will assume this support line here at 42,000, give or take. It's pretty decent support, and it can just bounces back up again eventually. So this support line as well down here, give or take, it also corresponds nicely with 20-50 moving average. It's not perfect, but it is in the ballpark area. And you can see here down here we also have this previous bottom down here that we do not want to go below. Why don't we want to go below the previous bottom down here? Because then you have this low and lower low, of course, bearish momentum, bearish movement towards downside. So we don't want to do that. So this still acts as a super important support for us down here. Despite all of the other ones, that's around 20-50 moving average on the daily time frame. This is a very, very important level not to break. Right now that's around 41.5, give or take. So we do not like we said yesterday, we do not want to fall back below these levels. Doesn't matter what happened, we just don't want to fall back below these levels. Now over here, the interesting part is that maybe there is some kind of triangle forming. So we you know, maybe there's some kind of, you know, bull flag or something like that, whatever you want to call it. But I think I think this is just too much, you know, too much flag for a bull flag, to be honest with you. So I think this is just some kind of a triangle forming up here, give or take, something like this, maybe give or take, maybe even down here. It's really not that, maybe something like this. So you can see here that we are right now, we can go to the 4-hourly time frame and maybe remove some of these lines up here so it's easier to see. What am I doing? Okay, there we go. So you can see here very nicely that after we came up here, you know, we touched this stop 2 times, we touched this stop bottom maybe 1-2 times. It's not very perfect line. Maybe I should have, you know, made a little bit more something like this, I don't know. And maybe 2 touches on downside. Right now again touch on upside. So if you go down, we are still expecting that here at 41.5, 41.8 to, you know, bounce off of that, because the way I see it, this triangle is playing out. The triangle is playing out, so it's either gonna be towards the upside or downside. And I don't know what everybody's saying. Oh, it's 50-50. That's the technical analysis. That's how it works, and we like 50-50 because we can, you know, assume, you know, we can do something with that. So if we fall out of this triangle on downside, that's gonna be bad. Now on the other side, if we, you know, just bounce up here or even here and get out on the upside, I think we can have a nice move towards the upside. You know, we can have a nice jump towards the upside. So this triangle is really important to follow, and that's what I'm looking at right now. I'm looking, you know, some kind of breakout out of this triangle towards the upside or downside. We'll see how that actually goes, but right now, you know, it's just you know, consolidation phase over here, and until we actually break out, nothing is actually happening. Will it break out today, tomorrow? I don't think it's gonna break out today. It might be tomorrow or the day after, so we're gonna see how this actually plays out. And the last thing I'm gonna show you is the weekly chart, because, you know, oftentimes when you're looking at the small time frames, you lose a little bit perspective in how things are playing out. So I'm going to show you here on the RSI, on the weekly time frame. We're going to use this chart up here, and what you're going to see on the RSI, this is 11 years of Bitcoin price, and you'll see that on RSI the lows where we have been just right now, they do not happen that often, and every time they happen, that's capitulation phase. And when I say capitulation phase, I mean the last dump. Okay, the last dump. So you can see down here when we went below, that was capitulation phase. That was the bottom. You can see here how we started here. Here was a little bit different. This you know, we continued long down. We made another move towards downside, but it was pretty close. This took like this went from September to something like January, so it was like 3-4 months. 3-4 months. 3-4 months, you know, 3-4 months of pain down here before we, you know, continued a big rally towards the upside. You can also see here in 2018, you know, that was a capitulation phase down here below the 35 levels. This was the Corona dump down here, and right now we hit those levels, 38 levels on the downside. So if we are, you know, again gonna go on the downside down here, it's gonna be the last dump. It's gonna be the last dump. It's gonna be the, you know, capitulation phase, and that's gonna be that. And you can see here, if that happens, we are looking at some kind of 200 moving average on the weekly time frame. It's going to be around 20,000. So over here already it looks like it might do that. So, you know, we are still prepared for that. Best case scenario, we bounce above these moving averages up here, you know, and continue towards the upside and stuff like that, right? But the only thing that can happen left is this capitulation phase. The question is, will this capitulation phase happen? Will this, you know, be like every other time? I don't know. And the way I see the market right now, it's really boring. Nothing is happening. Nobody's doing anything. So I don't see why we should have any kind of capitulation phase, because everybody's already out of the market. It's so boring, right? So we're gonna see how this actually, you know, develops. But I thought I should just mention it in the video that if we start going down below 37, just know that's capitulation phase. That's the end game. of this you know, of this consolidation. I think this might be also some kind of consolidation consolidation happening up here, right? Might be some kind of consolidation happening up here, where we you know, this might have been some kind of fake cut right now, going into some kind of here, and we go down in some kind of maybe capitulation phase and then bounce right back up again or something like that. There are a lot of, you know, ways this can play out, but this is a weekly time frame. It's gonna take a long time, so I'm probably gonna talk about this again. But it's just important to notice that, you know, if we for whatever reason start going down again, that's gonna be below this 35 levels, 34 levels, 33 levels, right? If you start going down again below that, that's gonna be the last dump, guys. That's gonna be the last dump. That's gonna be like cleanup, less cleanup, and after that, you know, I think it's gonna be fine, because this has just been, you know, going on for too long. I think I don't know if it's gonna be you know, it's been going on since April, so right now we are still not 1 year into this you know, this madness. This is 1 year over here, so it's pretty close. But this consolidation, we can call it consolidation. Consolidation has been happening for 1 year, and I think it's pretty long consolidation. And this is the first time we experiencing something like this, because every time we hit some kind of top, we had a, you know, we had a big pullbacks, and this is the first time where we don't have this big pullback. Yeah, this is the way I see it. It is consolidation. It is consolidation. We can have you know, oftentimes, like we do in triangles, we can have some kind of fake out on the downside where we see this capitulation phase happening, right, and then bam, right up again. So if that happened, I think that would be very good for price. I think that would be very good for Bitcoin and everything. But on the other hand, we can just also slowly continue up here on top and just continue towards the upside. I like this. I like that we haven't just gone on the downside and, you know, just started bleeding forever, you know, 2 years or something like that, because this over here gives me hope that, you know, this this bearish market can actually be over pretty soon, if we can manage to get a, you know, little bit more higher up. But everything depends on what's gonna happen on the daily time frame down here with this over here, this triangle. I'm not saying this is gonna go, I'm giving 50-50 towards the upside, 50-50 towards downside. I again don't want to fall below this 10-20-50 moving average down here, and best case scenario we get above you know, higher high up here above 44,500 or something like that. That's gonna be best case scenario. Anyways, guys, that's it for today. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow, same time, same place. Bye bye.